Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. I think this is the first time I'm doing a video like this, and this is how to grow a successful YouTube channel. Now, this might be the wrong channel to come to because I'm still a moderately small channel compared to others, especially others that do this type of thing. But I do get asked quite a lot, how do I set up a YouTube channel? How do you get to where you are today? So I'm going to answer a lot of those questions in the one video. Now, I've got just over 55,000 subscribers, so it's not a tiny channel, but it's not massive, but it is big enough to maybe try and help you start out to where I began. Because when I started out my channel, I wasn't expecting, again, this is cliche, but I wasn't expecting to get 50 subscribers, never mind 50,000 subscribers. And I think that's what a lot of people tell you. And if you go into a channel with that mindset, that's a good start, because what you're essentially saying is you're only setting up a channel because you want to talk about what you love to talk about, whereas other people maybe set up a channel hoping to get to 100,000 subscribers and they can quit their day job and that's going to be their job. Realistically, that's not the case. And in fact, maybe 99% of the time, that's not going to happen. So if you have got plans to do that, it might fail. There's a good chance it will fail. But if you want to come into a channel and talk about what you love, whether it be about movies, sport, whatever you want, if you want to just come in and talk about it and let the channel grow naturally, I assure you, you'll have a better time with your channel because you're not expecting things, you're not setting unrealistic goals, and you're not going to be disappointed in the end because what you're doing is what you love and that will show. So this goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, is before setting up your channel, you need to pick your topic, and most importantly, that topic needs to be some sort of a passion for you. Now, for me, my passion is movies, and more specifically, horror movies. So when I started out my channel, it was horror related, but I tried to branch off into other types of genres, but I didn't really feel comfortable doing that. So I kind of brought it back to horror, and that's what I love to do, because anytime I talk about horror movies, I don't hesitate. Whenever you think of a genre or anything you want to talk about that you don't really know about or you're not too sure about, then you kind of go a blank. Whereas with horror movies, with myself, for example, I don't go blank. I've always got something to talk about, and I can always talk about horror movies 24/7. There are hundreds and thousands of horror channels out there, but what you don't want to do, I'm using myself as an example, what I didn't want to do and what I think you shouldn't do is, if you do have a passion for horror, for example, don't go to the biggest horror channel and look at them and go, I'm going to do what they're doing and be like them, because that doesn't work. I could easily go off and look at, say, Dead Meat, for example, and stand like Dead Meat and do the kill counts, and it just wouldn't work. Yes, you could maybe do it in your own way, and that would probably work. And I've seen a lot of people, not copying Dead Meat, but a lot of people copying other channels, not in the sense of their content, but the way they speak. They change their attitude and change the way they speak. And people would know I'm trying to be somebody else, and that's off-putting. So what you want to do is be yourself. So you have your passion, have your topic, and just be yourself. Don't try and be somebody else. If you want to, then be more clear like I do. I'm from Glasgow, Scotland, so when I speak in the real world, it's not too dissimilar to what I'm speaking like now, but I try and clean it up here for my audience, because my target audience is worldwide, but my biggest audience is people in the US and Canada. So if I speak totally Glaswegian, then they're not really going to understand me and they will probably tune out. So although you're trying to be yourself, try and be clear though. Try and be a clear and better person of yourself, a better version of yourself. When I say that, I don't mean be a better person. I just mean be more clear, like I'm trying to do just now. Now that you've chosen your topic, now that you've chosen your passion and you're prepared to be yourself, what you do now need to get is a bit of equipment. Now, it doesn't have to be the best of equipment, at least to begin with. Now, I've got a professional mic, I've got a professional camera and professional lighting, and I've got professional software that helps me edit, etc., which we'll get into. But you don't have to have all that to begin with, and I certainly didn't have all that to begin with. When I started out, I was already a professional photographer. I wasn't a videographer or anything. I had to learn that on the go, which was quite easy because I'm already a photographer and I know the lighting, etc. setup. I had no clue about audio setup. That was the worst part for me, but you'll learn as you go. But if you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of equipment, what I do recommend, the very minimum, would be to get yourself a 1080p webcam at least. I'm using a DSLR, or in fact it's not a DSLR anymore, it's a mirrorless camera that I've got. I'm using a mirrorless camera, which is a professional cam that I use for my work, but you don't have to have something like that. You can just get yourself a webcam. You can get a 1080p webcam these days for $30 or £25 if you're in the UK. It's not that expensive. When it comes to mics, you don't have to get a professional mic. You can get something that at least sounds good. Don't use your phone mic. Don't use any weird mic. Just get yourself a USB mic. Again, you can get them for $20 or £15 in the UK. It's as easy as that. If you've got a spare $40 to $50, then you can get yourself a mic and a camera easily. Lighting's quite a hard thing because not only do you need to get decent lighting, you need to know where to put them. I've got a 4-light setup as always. I've got a light at this side, which lights this side of my face. I've got a light at that side, which lights this side of my face. You want to give it a kind of uneven look. You don't want to have it straight on. And I've got background lighting as well, just to make the background pop. That's a basic lighting setup. You don't really have to have that. You can use your daylight if you really want to. I don't like to use daylight because that's what I learn as a photographer, but use whatever light you can to light yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect to begin with, but again, you'll learn your setup as you go along. When it comes to the backdrop, that's a personal preference for me and for you. I had a cluttered background before with all my Blu-rays in the background, which is fine because I'm a movie related channel, but I wanted to keep it a little bit cleaner, so I'm using the back wall as making it a little bit cleaner. But again, your setup can be your own thing. Just remember though, your audience might be put off by certain things in the backdrop, so that's why you need to be careful at points. Going back to the software, I use Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe Photoshop. I use Photoshop for my thumbnails and I use Premiere Pro for the video editing, of course. There are cheaper or even free software that you can use to do all that kind of stuff. I don't really want to get into that because that's more technical side, but if you do want to edit thumbnails and you do want to edit videos, they can be done on a phone as well if you have to use your phone to do the recording. But there's numerous ways and numerous setups you can do. I might do a video on that separately at some point, but the best software for me to use is Premiere Pro and Photoshop. You also need to think about how often you're going to be uploading your videos. If you upload maybe once a month, you probably won't retain your audience because they will forget about you so fast. I always had a rule of thumb for myself to begin with. Try and upload at least one video a week. That way your audience knows you're going to be coming back weekly, at least. Sometimes I'll upload 3 videos a week. Sometimes I'll upload 2 videos a week. I might even have a busy week where I'll upload 4, and it's only because of the news that maybe comes out. If there's some horror news that's coming out, then I'm going to have to upload a video and discuss that or do a trailer reaction on certain things. So you might find that my channel will have 4 videos in one week or 1 or 2 in the next week, but at least try and get yourself 1 video a week so that your audience can be retained. So let's get into the thumbnails and your title descriptions, etc. That's very, very important. The most important thing is a visual aspect, and that is your thumbnail. Now, sometimes people will look at a title, but the first thing that someone's going to be looking at is your thumbnail. So you need to make sure your thumbnail pops. For people who are watching this video who have watched my channel over the years, you'll notice that my thumbnails have changed over the years. I experiment, and you'll do the same. You have to experiment with what you think works better. In my recent batch of thumbnails that I do, I think they maybe work better because they pop a little bit more. Not only am I using images in the background, I'm using images in the foreground with text in between, and that makes your front image pop. Again, you have to be good at Photoshop to do these certain things, but what you want to do is give your thumbnails a little bit of colour, a little bit of oomph. Yes, you can make your thumbnails sort of clickbaity if you want, but don't go full overboard. Don't put a woman in a bra and then say, click on this video, and then your video is just about football or whatever. That doesn't work. That's clickbait, and people will probably just tune out and never click on your videos again. So your thumbnails, although you want them to be clickable, you want that thumbnail to be relevant to your topic. Otherwise, people will not click on your videos again. Make sure they're relevant to your content. So I try to do my best. I think for me, yellow works good in a thumbnail. Yellow is a colour that people will click on. Don't ask me why. It's just something that people do. Now, red and yellow are quite good. colourful colours, if that makes sense. Try and get that kind of colour in your thumbnails. Make it pop, but also make it relevant. Your title and description are also important, probably as important as each other. Now, your title, you have to give yourself something really good. If you're doing a movie review for Halloween, if you just type in Halloween movie review, that's exactly what you're going to get. But it doesn't really pop. You have to give it something different. Give it something that makes it work. For example, Halloween is the greatest movie ever, and here's why. And it's still a movie review, but you're giving it a purpose. Now, one thing I've started to do, which it seems to work, is you can use AI generator text for your for your titles. They really work. If you go to any website that offers AI generation text, like GBT, I think it is, you go to that website and just type in, give me YouTube title ideas for Halloween movie, and it'll give you some sort of idea. And that's what I've been doing lately. I give myself some ideas, copy, paste, and just change it around to make it work for you. The same with your description as well, if you want. One thing that's very important is your tags. Now, you get a lot of tags for a reason, and that's because people will search for these keywords. So fill your tags. If you get 500 words or 500 characters to put in for your tags, fill them up. Even if you don't know what to do, fill them up. If you're doing, let's say, Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers, you type in Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers, but also type in separately Halloween, also type in the Curse of Michael Myers, type in Michael Myers, Myers, Myers Mask, Curse, Thorn, Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode, Laurie, anything like that, type it all in. It has to fill up. Don't just half fill it, because that's not really good. You need to fill it to the max. That's very important. Now, here's a really bit of great information, and this is from YouTube, of all people. YouTube Analytics is a very, very powerful tool that you can use to see what's working and what's not working. And for me, being all the way across in the UK and my main audience being all the way in the US and Canada, Analytics is a fantastic place for me to go to find out when people are watching my videos. So if I upload a video and it gets, say, 10,000 views, but then I upload another video and it gets 1,000 views, I always wonder to myself, why is that not getting as many views as the other video? And it's because of the dates, the times that I'm uploading things. So if you go to Analytics, it's a very powerful tool for you to find out what's working. So for me, it says that most of my viewers come on around Sunday at around 4 p.m. UK time. So that's a weird time for me in the UK, but it works because that's when my viewers are watching my videos. So what I tend to do is find the peak times that people go into my channel and make sure my videos are premiered for that time. And that's helped my channel lately. My channel goes up and down, and most people's channels will go up and down, but sometimes it goes up, and the times it goes up, you try and take advantage of that, find out why it's going up, and look into that. Now, my channel's boomed lately, which is great, fantastic. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. So when it's on its boom, I find out why. That's where the analytics comes in. So when I go to my analytics, when something's doing well, I find out why. Another powerful tool on your analytics is you get to see what your subscribers are searching for. If I see my subscribers are searching for keywords, for example, like Season of the Witch, then I'm going to say to myself, that's a popular topic right now. I'm going to try and create a video and discuss Season of the Witch. That's just an example, guys. I'm not actually going to do that just now, but I'll see that. I know my audience want that, so why not give them what they're looking for? Why not give them what they're searching for? So it only makes sense for you to upload something like that. So don't do it and force yourself to do it. If that's a topic that you don't want to discuss or know nothing about, then don't do it, because that goes back to your passion. Only talk about something that you're passionate about, and that bleeds into that. And I think if your subscribers are subscribing to you, they're probably already invested in you, which means they'll be searching for things that you already talk about anyway. So if they search for Season of the Witch, it's probably going to be something that you already know about. Therefore, you can make a video about that confidently and be yourself. My final bit of advice for you guys that are setting up a channel is give it time. That's the most important thing. Give your channel time to grow. Remember, if you're doing it for passion, you will give it time. If you're doing it out of trying to get numbers and money, it's not going to work. But if you're passionate and you give it time, it will eventually work. I set my channel up in 2011. I didn't really use it to the potential that I wanted to until about 2017. My channel's not big for the the time that I've had my channel. I've had my channel for 12 years now. I've really invested in it for the last 6 years. People who have had their channel for 6 years are probably on 1 million subscribers by now. But that's not my goal. My goal is just to talk about what I love. My passion is horror movies, and I'll continue to talk about that, whether my channel is big or whether my channel is small. When I started out my channel at 0 subscribers, I communicated with people on my YouTube channel that I still communicate with today. Never forget your audience. Never forget where you came from. I'm still friends with people that are not as big as my channel anymore, but I'm always going to give myself 100% time to these people because these are the people that made you. So don't forget that as well, guys. If your channel does grow and become successful, don't forget the people that helped you out to begin with because they won't forget you and hopefully you won't forget them. But that's the most important thing is give your channel time to grow. I have seen people setting up a channel and they've turned out really well, but they don't get to the levels that they want to as quickly as they want to, and they just give up and delete their channel. Massive shame for that to happen because they had so much potential. I've seen it time and time again. Don't let it happen to you guys. Make it your passion. And like I said, if it's your passion, it will 100% work. Anyway, guys, again, that is a video that's kind of out of the norm for me because it's not horror related, but it is something that people have asked me about and wanted me to talk about. And that's how I done it. That's how I started my channel. And that's how I've gotten to where I am today. It's nothing big. I'm still working out with YouTube. I've still got my own job and my own family, but I do make it work. I do give it time and I still enjoy it to this day. So hopefully that gives you some tips. Hopefully that gives you some advice as well, guys. Even people who are already running a YouTube channel, if you're watching this video and you want to get to a bigger level, even bigger than myself, then try and follow some of these steps and it'll probably work for you. Anyway, guys, if you get any other tips and advice for anybody that's watching the video, leave them down below. And as always, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for subscribing and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back seat! Tell me where you are, John!
Wolfman's got